And we are live here tonight for another fun, exciting short live stream tonight. I wasn't able to come on yesterday, but I am here tonight to make up for it. I am going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls tonight. Basically what I'm going to say is the Bulls' struggles recently could be their success. Like, people don't realize it could actually really be their success. So I'm just going to wait for some people to get into the live, and then we'll start talking about it. So I have 2 people in. Still, gonna wait for more. There should be more people coming in, so we'll wait. But make sure to always let me know if there's any other teams that you want me to talk about, anything going on in the NBA that you want me to talk about. I will be happy to do that. I'm sure, like, if you guys love the NBA like me and you want me to talk about your favorite team, I'll be happy to do that. So let me know in the chat for future lives that I could do. Obviously, I love I being on for the Sixers games and showing you guys my commentary skills. And yeah, I also like to do these short lives as well, talking about stuff that goes on in the NBA, which is today's topic will be the Bulls' struggles could be leading to success. So, and I know that sounds crazy because the Bulls have been awful as of late, but maybe it could help them. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, let's wait for people to come in. Ooh, 13 people in right now. Okay. That is awesome. We should be talking about it right now then. Let's see what's going on in the chat. What is up, Ethan and Marahas? Welcome to my live for tonight. We're going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls tonight. So let's get right into it. We have 13 people in right now. That's a great start to the live. So let's get off to what started the season. The Bulls were red hot to begin the season. They were 5-0, and I feel like the Bulls they're the most inconsistent team that you can run into. Like they're a team that could win like 5 games in a row and then lose 5 games in a row. That's what I'm talking about with the Chicago Bulls. You never know how they perform each night. They're very unpredictable. But like that's where I'm confused why they're doing so bad when they start off 5-0, and I'm sure it might be confusing to you guys, but you have to look into what they're doing. You have to look at what trades they made at the deadline, who is injured for that team. You got to look into stuff like that. You can't just say, "Oh, the Bulls suck." They are maybe they're trying to hold their team back a little bit, which I never believed in tanking. I think tanking is stupid. I don't think you should never lose on purpose, to get a higher pick. I think you should always try your best every single game. But at the same time, maybe the Bulls are trying to hold back and trying to build their team because no one wants to be in the play-in tournament for 3 seasons in a row. You just that's not getting anywhere with it, and not even getting past the play-in tournament at times. But yeah, hello, Ms. Wax 3623. Welcome to the live. So we have four people in right now. So yeah, let's basically get into what's the recent struggles have been. So the Chicago Bulls have lost 11 games in a row, keeping them winless for the full month of February. They have lost 14 of their last 15 games. Yikes. Oh my goodness. A team that popular like Chicago, that big of a team, it's shocking, of course. But they're also, like I said, they could be rebuilding their team. They could be taking a little step back to try to be successful. Now, this is how their losses have gone. So, their first loss on this 11-game losing streak, they head into Miami and get absolutely smashed, 134-91. That's obviously a horrible start to the month. And, Miami is not that good of a team where you lose. You shouldn't be losing by that much to anybody, but to lose to Miami that way is just ridiculous. Then they go to Milwaukee and they lose 131-115. So again, not that good of a win. Again, another under 500 team. So, it's shocking for Chicago. These are winnable games for them, and they keep blowing it. So then they play the Raptors away, lose 123-107. So that obviously is nothing to be ashamed of. The Raptors are really good. The Raptors are a playoff team. They have a really great coach. The Raptors are a very talented team, especially on defense. So nothing to be ashamed about there. Then they come back home after a 3-game losing streak, and you're thinking, maybe they could get a win. They play the Denver Nuggets. That's a really good team, and they lose 136-120. But you just wonder, like, maybe a 4-game losing streak is just a little setback. This is where so they go to away again. They play the Brooklyn Nets. This is where their concerns raise. They lose 123-115 to one of the worst teams in the NBA, the Brooklyn Nets. And that is just appalling if you're a Chicago Bulls fan. Like, we have a little setback, but we should be able to keep up with that energy and beat the Brooklyn Nets. And, with the Charlotte Hornets literally up our ass in the standings, and we needed this win, and you mean to tell me we can't beat the Nets? So that's probably what the Bulls fans were thinking. Like, that's a punch right in the gut to lose to the Nets, and that raising is concern. And they go away to Boston and they lose 124-105. Just shocking again. Another loss by 15 or more. That's just bad for Chicago. And they go back home and they lose 110-101. That's actually a pretty good fight against the Raptors. Again, that's a pretty good fight. They only lose by 9. So they have lost 7 in a row up to this point. Then they play at home against the Pistons. Again, nothing to be ashamed about losing to them. But, you expect to put up more of a fight because you're hungry for a win. Nope. They lose 126-110. Another shocking loss right there. And they play another great team at home. They lose 105-99. The Knicks, another great fight by them, but just can't get the win. Then they play at home again to Charlotte. Now, against the Hornets, who are red hot, but you mean tell me they lost 131-99 to the Hornets? Like, that is stupid. That is really just. It gets to be, if you're a Bulls fan, like, you're wondering if they're even trying on the season anymore, because one bad game is bad enough, but when you lose 10 straight and, again, losing by 30 again, and then yesterday they lose to the Blazers at home 121-112, which was a winnable game, but they couldn't do it. So basically, the Bulls have a 6-game home stand. Their first 4, they've lost it. In a moment where they could win at least 3 of their 6 at home. Like, I understand them losing to the Raptors. I understand them losing to the Pistons. I understand them losing Knicks. One of those harder games, I think they could actually get a win in, but because they know that they want to be ahead of the Hornets, then they go ahead and get demolished by the Hornets, and then another winnable game at home, they lose to the Blazers. So they play the Bucks and the Thunder in their next two, their last 2 games in the 6-game homestand, and I really don't see them winning any of them because the Bucks are red hot right now. The Thunder, But let me get to why they could be sucking this badly. Welcome, Black Dragon Sports Shorts, to the live. Yeah, the Bulls just suck. Oh, I mean, I think they'd rather, be sucking right now than be just mid for years to come. Like, no team wants to just be stuck in the same place, be 9th or 10th every single season, fighting for a playoff spot in the play-in tournament. That's really frustrating if you're a Bulls fan. You want to be a consistent playoff team, and like, you wonder to yourself, are we just going to be mid all the time? So I think the Bulls do want to take a step back, and they do want to build their team around, and they do want to be a consistent playoff team. So currently we have 4 people in. Hopefully we get up to like between 8 and 10, like we were at the beginning. That would be really good. There we go. So, yeah, so let's get to the rebuilding process, okay? So let's talk about this first trade. The Bulls receive Jaden Ivey injured. That's the first player that they received. He was injured, Jaden Ivey. So then they're kind of a little bit backed up in the backcourt a little bit. Then Mike Conley Jr., who they eventually trade. I'll get to that trade in a little bit. Then the Pistons will receive Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric. So there's nothing really much to say about this trade. I do think Kevin Huerter is not as good as he used to be on the 3-point shot. I mean, 30% is just not good enough for Kevin Huerter. But Jaden Ivey is not super consistent either. So, but again, that their backcourt is a little banged up right now because Jaden Ivey is not playing. Doesn't give the Bulls extra help in the backcourt. But the Bulls have enough backcourt for right now. They do have Josh Giddey, So, but I mean, with their injuries, I don't know if the Bulls have enough size right now as well. But let's move on. Bulls receive Anthony Simons, injured again, and a pick. And the Celtics receive Nikola Vucevic. So a center gone, and they receive another injured backcourt player who's a young player. So if healthy, then Anthony Simons could be really good for the Bulls. So because if they have one healthy, Anthony Simons is an absolute baller. He can, when he is on it, he is on it. So I do expect him to be really good when he is healthy. But for now, their struggles, lack of having a good center like Vucevic, and two backcourt players that they received injured. And next, we go to this trade. The Bulls receive Anthony. No, sorry, we're at that trade. The Bulls receive Rob Dillingham and Leonard Miller and picks. The Wolves receive Ayo Dosunmu and Jahan Phillips. Pretty good. I would say that's solid for the Bulls. They get some good talent in return, plus the picks that they're gonna get. They need picks for the future. I mean, the Bulls have an opportunity to be a talented team in the future with all these picks. I think obviously Josh Giddey has been a franchise player for them. Obviously, Matis Bucelis has been a franchise player for them. The plan, I think, might be to build around them, and that's what they're going to do with the picks. Although I do think the Bulls are very backed up right now. They have a lot of injuries going on with them. They kind of blew up their team at the deadline a little bit. Okay, that's why I'm getting to this next trade. The Bulls received Colin Sexton and Ousmane Dieng and picks. First off, I think that this was good by the Bulls to get a good defensive perimeter player. Like if I check it right now, hold on a sec. The Bulls are 27th in the league in defense. They average 120.5 points allowed. That's terrible. That really is bad defense. The Bulls have always struggled with defense. Like in recent years, even when they had Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan pairing with Vucevic on their team as their big three. I think this team has struggled with defense, but they've been struggling a lot this season, 27th. But Colin Sexton is a really, really strong defender, and I think he'll be good for the Bulls. Hornets getting Kobe White and Mike Conley. That's where I said Mike Conley, good veteran presence for Charlotte. Charlotte's a very, very young team with Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, and Con Canupo. I think they'll need a nice veteran player to lead their team. But this live is about the Bulls. Okay, this live is about the Bulls. Colin Sexton, great defender. Ousmane Dieng is a solid player. And picks, can't go wrong with getting more and more picks just to build your team. I don't know if the second round picks that they get are going to be playing in the NBA anytime soon, but that will definitely could be useful in the next few years. But the injuries that they have are also a factor. Pat Williams is out. Jalen Smith's out. Anthony Simons, who we just went over, one of the players that they received, is out. Zach Collins is out. Jaden Ivey, another. player that we talked about being injured that they received is out, and Noah Asengi, the French rookie. So backcourt banged up. No Zach Collins, no Pat Williams. Lack of size. Yeah, that's another reason why their defense is not like up to par right now, because they do have lack of size on their team. And I just think that they need somebody to play the interior and perimeter very well. I do think that Colin Sexton will do very well on perimeter defense. But I think the Bulls, the Bulls fans should kind of take the good with the bad. But I mean, yes, you're having a setback right now. You've lost 11 straight games. You've lost 14 out of your last 15. But look at the players that you've gotten. I would say it's been pretty successful. I think the Bulls can definitely be a playoff team next season if they make some more off-season moves and be smart about their picks in the draft. But it all depends on health, right? Zach Collins needs to be healthy. Patrick Williams needs to be healthy. Anthony Simons, Jaden Ivey, all those guys need to be healthy in order for the Bulls to have a chance at the playoffs. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to go over. Obviously sucks to, the Bulls have a great history, but not a good present day, right? Been kind of inconsistent for me as well. And, starting off the season 5-0 and the Bulls fans being all excited, and then they're like, I knew it was too good to be true. But I do think their injuries have had something to do with it. But also, the Bulls are trying to be a consistent playoff team because, like I said, they don't want to be stuck in the playing tournament all the time. They want to be trying to be a consistent playoff team. They want to also, when time comes, which will probably not be for like a while, like 5 to 10 years, but to keep rebuilding, then who knows, they could be up there with the Spurs, Thunder, Knicks, hopefully my Sixers, the Celtics, all of them, Pistons, but yeah, Nuggets. So obviously they do want to be up there with them. And the Bulls could be, if they just continue to be consistent, don't botch the rebuild, But that's what I wanted to go over tonight. Basically, just give you my personal opinion on this. It's not the end of the world for the Bulls. It's not a full downfall for the Bulls. I think it's just a little setback that they're dealing with. Actually, it's a pretty big setback, but it's something that you should try to stay positive about, because the Bulls did get a lot of good players at the deadline in the process. And if they can stay consistent, like I said, and get their players, the coach needs to do to rotate these players in a good way, teach these young guys how to play and stuff like that. And this team could be a playoff team. So that's just my take on it. Bulls fans, don't get the tissues out yet. You guys don't have anything to worry about right now. You guys just take the good with the bad for right now. You got some talent to work with, and I wish the team the best. Hopefully, they can be a playoff team in the future because the Bulls do have the talent. They do have the pieces now. I think they did pretty good at the deadline, and I just don't. I think this 11-game losing streak is a once in a while thing. Like the Bulls, like when I looked at the standings and seen the Bulls having an 11-game losing streak, I was just stunned. I was surprised by it, but the Bulls, you should not be too upset about it. Just it obviously sucks. Like if my Sixers, like I've seen it all with my Sixers. I've seen them winning only 10 games in a season. That's obviously not good, but a couple years later, my Sixers were in the playoffs. So maybe that could be for the Bulls' future playoff team with the picks that they got in, the new players. So, again, my take on it. Let me know what you guys think of this live. Let me know in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.